What's going on, friends? It is no secret that Harley-Davidsons are expensive, and when you get into the performance catalog, that just leaves your pockets even emptier. But why doesn't Harley-Davidson put a lot of their really good performance parts into the engines stock right out of the factory? Now, you'll hear it time and time again, Harley-Davidsons are overpriced, underpowered, and why would you buy a Harley-Davidson when there's so many other motorcycles out there that make more power and they don't cost nearly as much? Now, while this is true, you're not going to go out and buy a 200 horsepower BMW S1000RR to go ride cross country on. The secret is, it's all about the bike's intended purpose, and it's not necessarily all about just horsepower. Guys, please don't forget, if you enjoyed the video today, please don't forget to hit that like button and consider subscribing to the channel if you haven't done so already. Now, Harley-Davidson's stock horsepower really isn't all that impressive when you consider the size of those engines. But the size of those engines is where the torque comes from. And the torque output of a Harley-Davidson is quite impressive when compared to any other motorcycle out on the market. Well, except maybe the Triumph Rocket 3, but that's a whole different class of bike. The large displacement of the engines generates a massive amount of torque even in stock form. Not only are you getting this massive amount of torque, but you're doing it at a very low RPM range. So what you end up with is a very high torque motor that produces decent horsepower, and the best part is you don't have to rev this thing to the moon to actually see it. Now, Harley-Davidson engines really remain unchanged from year to year. Historically, Harley-Davidson doesn't make a whole lot of engine changes, but with being a cruiser and touring platform, they really don't have to focus on a lot of performance aspects, as with other genres of motorcycles, like with sport bikes and some of the naked bikes out there, where they really have to keep up on the cutting edge technology to really stay ahead of their competition. For a majority of Harley-Davidson riders, the power output of the bikes is more than enough. Now, a lot of people will go and do pipes, exhaust, air cleaner, and tuner and gain a little bit more power that way, but fewer people really go past the exhaust, air cleaner, and the tune. But the good thing is with the Harley-Davidson, there are so many options out there to actually get your engine's power output tailored to where you need it, to where it benefits the way you ride the most. So most people, when they buy a Harley-Davidson, they're going to ride it for a little while, basically in its stock form, kind of evaluate how it performs, where they ride, and how they're using it, whether they're two-up, they're touring, how much gear they're carrying, riding in the mountains, hills, flatland. You're going to ride it in all these different situations and evaluate the bike, and then from there, that's going to allow you to really make an educated decision on where you want more power within the RPM range. Now, Harley-Davidson really does give you a pretty good basic engine package right off the showroom floor. Now, minus the exhaust and the air cleaner, which we can pretty much thank the good old EPA for that. With a stock Harley-Davidson engine, arguably they don't need a lot of the heavy-duty, high-performance parts that are in the performance catalog. Well, I say arguably because the stock engine really could benefit from a lot of the performance parts in the catalog. So what it really comes down to is Harley-Davidson's marketing strategy. Harley-Davidson gives you a really nice-looking motorcycle. Lots of high-quality components, good fit and finish, excellent paint, really hard to beat. Nobody else out there really does what Harley-Davidson does with motorcycles, and this is very much reflected in the price tag. Now, with Harley-Davidson not making a whole lot of engine updates and changes from year to year, the bikes pretty much stay the same year after year, but with really only changes in color. So Harley-Davidson is going to have a hard time convincing you, who already own a Harley, to come back in 2 or 3 years and buy another new Harley-Davidson, which is basically the same bike you have, but in a different color. But you already like the color that you have on your bike, so why would you go to the dealer and buy the exact same bike in a color that you don't really prefer over the one you have? So Harley-Davidson has to take a little bit different approach to convince you to come into their dealer and lay down some hard-earned money. So in turn, you keep the bike that you already have, you dig into Harley-Davidson's performance catalog to go ahead and update your bike a little bit because you've had it for a couple of years, you're used to the power output, you're looking for something a little bit more, so Harley goes, hey, here's the Screamin' Eagle catalog, we've got cams, big bore kits, and oh wait, here's our fat book of accessories. We can go ahead and update your bike, change it, make it the way you want it. Now, I do have to caution you, once you do get into the performance catalog, it really is like Pandora's box. So once you open it and start spending money, it's really hard to close it, if not impossible. Now, of course, once we get into the catalog, we get into camshafts, big bore kits, all kinds of different air intake accessories, exhaust systems, tuners. And the issue with these is once you get in there, you start reading the fine print, and that's where they get you. The fine print is where the parts that aren't included in these kits that are actually, well, they say required to install, and they are with the Harley parts. So you may end up needing new valve springs for the cam, you may end up needing heavier duty bearings, or you may even end up needing a set of adjustable push rods depending on which cam you install. Also, another little fun fact with their stage kits, they don't come with adjustable push rods, but it's also required to install the kit. So I've noticed in a lot of cases, some dealers will order a stage kit for a customer, go to start installing it and realize, hey, we need adjustable push rods, and then you're kind of stuck being down for another week or two while they're waiting to get a set of those push rods in. Now, once we get past the fine print, we move into the while you're in there components of the parts catalog. They've already got your bike torn down, so while your bike's already torn down, this is a great time to go ahead and swap your cast cam plate for one of their fancy billet cam plates. Go ahead and get you a good high volume oil pump. Let's put some of those high capacity tappets in there. You can probably see where this is all starting to go. They got your bike parts, opportune time. Hey, while we're there, we could go ahead and do this. And you're like, well, crap. Okay, yeah, let's do it. And keep in mind, if you are going the Harley-Davidson catalog route, you definitely want to have this work done at the dealer, especially if you have a new bike. So that way, if you're within 60 days, everything that you do to your bike will be covered under the 2-year warranty or your extended warranty. Or if you have a bike that's out of warranty and you're going the Screamin' Eagle route, have these parts put on at the dealership, so that way you'll get the 1-year warranty on all the parts and labor. So now you're probably really starting to see how the whole Harley-Davidson performance parts and catalog, their whole structure works as far as getting the money out of you. Harley-Davidson really likes to get you into their universe with their dealers, their parts, their service, their warranties. They want you to do it all in-house at Harley-Davidson when you buy a new motorcycle. Now, as we've seen kind of traditionally with Harley-Davidson, they'll give you a real nice fit and finish package. The engine produces great torque, decent horsepower, but if you end up looking for more, they really kind of leave you on your own to go out and tailor the engine and the bike's power and performance to what you really want it to be. Now, with this latest release of new models from Harley-Davidson, we've kind of seen that they've really kind of made a performance shift. The Lowrider S has gone from a 114, now they're going to have a 117, and they came out with a performance bagger-oriented type like Street Glide and a Road Glide. These sit up a little taller, they got a 117 engine, they're really a little bit more performance-oriented. So I want you guys' opinion. Do you think Harley-Davidson should keep leaving it up to the customer to put the performance into the Harley-Davidson motorcycles, or do you think Harley-Davidson should start really kind of increasing their power and performance right out of the factory across all the model? But anyhow, guys, that's all I've got for you this week. If you enjoyed the video, please don't forget to drop a like on it. Don't forget to consider subscribing to the channel. But guys, until next week, you guys ride smart, stay safe on the streets, dodge the cars, and I'll catch you guys back here next week with a brand new video. Thanks for watching.